Rock and roll is kind of where the debris meets the sea. If you tilt the map, like Los Angeles, everything you loose and unscrewed down rolls into L.A. or everybody. And in rock and roll is that wonderful collecting point where you can combine sea salt with caramel. At first, it might not seem right. You can combine peanut butter with chocolate. What do you do? Hey, that's pretty good. And voila.
I don't know if you just answered me or not. Do you think you answered?
If you were a chef, you can take chances in rock and roll. You dig? Other types of music, not so much. Orchestra, Shakespeare. You don't change a note.
Right.
You follow? But in rock and roll, we learned from all of our heroes, and this is our 50th year coming up. Al Van Halen and I, 48, I think, for Mike and the two of us, all right? And we come from backgrounds of different kinds of music. I played saxophone in the marching band. I learned to play saxophone starting when I was 4th, 5th grade, all the way up until I was a teenager. So I think in terms of brass.
I think there's definitely benefit in kids learning martial arts for sure. And learning martial arts in the same uniform, there's a real benefit in that too, because you realize it's not about the uniform, it's not about what you look like, it's about getting things done. Then as you learn and grow and become more accomplished, then you receive these belts. And so then you have goal attainment. And goal attainment is an amazing thing for kids, an amazing thing for adults. There's a real benefit in knowing that you put in the hard work and now there's something that signifies it. Oh my God, I have a blue belt. And they tie that blue belt around your waist and you're not a white belt anymore and you feel proud. You put that thing on and you feel like I have done work. And then it elevates your perspective in terms of the way you look at yourself and you look at your abilities. It gives you more confidence. And it also gives you this goal. One day I want to be a black belt. And you just think about it like one day I'm going to attain a rank of proficiency where I'm going to be someone who's actually, to whatever level, mastered a very specific style of martial art that's incredibly difficult to learn. And that's good for everybody.
You apply that now to the arts that we do for a living. McCartney can't get through an interview without telling you about his 6 years in the red light district in Germany. He wears it like a general's badge. Can you dig it?
Mm-hmm.
He's proud of it. Alex Van Halen and I, same thing. We put in 5 years compared to year 3. The average is 2.5, maybe. Follow.
Just constantly jamming, doing multiple shows, constantly. Isn't that it's detailed in the book The Outliers, right? Is it The Outliers? I think it is. There's a book,
Outliers.
Yeah, that they talk about how when the Beatles emerged, people don't realize they had so many hours of playing, and it's one of the reasons why they're so good. Is they were playing so often, constantly.
It is really hardcore training, and that's when you build who you are. That's where you develop your ingredients.
Yeah.
When I was coming up in music, that was the regular, because there were bands at every club. Every bar had to have a live band. To afford the speakers and the turntable and the music, you had to have a live band. And you would tear off the left-hand side of the Billboard chart and learn it. Alex and I went through a list just recently that we found of 120 songs that we could play at the drop of a hat by everybody you could imagine, from Smoke on the Water to Get Down Tonight. That's where we learned to sing. Get down tonight, get down tonight. We didn't have a keyboard, so you better sing. You better sing a cover off that fucking ball. That's why Mike Anthony was so unique. His bass playing, yeah, we can find bass players, but nobody sounds like that. That's Garfunkel. Simon's good, but Simon and Garfunkel. Where do you think you built that? Thousands and thousands of vocal training hours, so that when Mike and I sing, you recognize it like Hendrix's guitar. You may never have heard the song before, and you go, that's Hendrix. Signature sound. Like Rod Stewart's voice. You may never have heard the song before, you go, that's Rod. Yeah, it is. And in our backgrounds, like Motown, that only comes from thousands of hours Where do you learn to have the temetry to stick with that? Well, I learned it at the dojo. I learned it in my first singing lessons. You dig it? My first singing coach, Jesus, that was also my first real experience with tattoos. We started off talking about tattoos. My first singing coach had 2 tattoos. He had a number right here, and he had another number right there. And he would say at least once a year, this is my camp number, and this is the number why I was still alive. He played piano and he sang in Auschwitz.
Jesus.
He was there for 3 years. Kurt Blumenthal, okay? And he used to tell me, Mr. Roth, sing as if your life depended on it. Can you imagine a gig where one bad review literally puts you up the chimneys? And that was another expression he would use. It's in the music. It's in my voice. It's in every Van Halen song you hear. Mr. Van Halen taught it to his sons. Jan Van Halen and I were very good friends. And he would tell his sons about when the bombing would start and they would all move into the subway tunnels, and he would play saxophone for everybody hiding during World War II. Every time I sing as if my life depended on it.